Hello there, and welcome into this astrology energy update video where we are going to be looking at the energies for this end of April 2025, what we have been experiencing and why, and into May, this coming month ahead with this Taurus new moon. This cycle, this experience of death and rebirth, and this returning to our hearts, to the spark that we have within inside of us. And where is that leading us? This chaos of the old world collapsing. And yet within that death process, there is this rebirth, the renewal of a whole new cycle, whole new journey ahead. So that is what we are going to be covering in this video, and I hope that sounds exciting for you. If you are new here, my name is Christy Whistler. I am an evolutionary astrologer with Jeff Green's branch, so we go very deep into the unconscious and why we're having the experiences that we're having. I'm also an energy practitioner, so I bring in that side of it with the astrology to piece and thread all these different pieces, this puzzle together to see what that is, what that bigger story is. So if you are needing support right now, please do reach out. You can find more information at my website, christywhistler.com. I offer astrology, birth chart readings, intuitive readings, as well as quantum healing sessions. So if you're really going through it right now, please know that you are not alone. And if you find this video helpful, then please do give it a like. Subscribe to this channel, hit that little notification bell. All of that will really help me to continue to connect with more people like yourself who are ready to turn off the craziness of the fear in the world around and tune within and asking that question, how can I work with these energies? This alchemical transformation of taking all that and to making it into gold for you in your life. So that is my intention for you as we explore the astrology, as I bring in the solar and space weather as well, and that bigger story that these different parts and pieces are trying to tell for us and trying to help us along. Okay, so there's quite a bit to go through. As always, I will do my very best, and I will do my best to not keep this super long. I can't keep any promises, but I'll try. And I won't be covering everything. So that's part of it as well, is the astrology is so packed with just this potent moment in time that I'm not going to cover everything. And for you, you will be having very unique experiences that your soul is needing to have in order to grow and to evolve. So really take this video as a springboard or as a mirror and a reflection, so then when you go out and live the world, you live your life in the world, you can start to be like, well, what's the message of this? How is this linking in with the astrology? What is it that my soul is trying to teach me as I keep hitting this brick wall after brick wall, or this dissolution of job and career and safety? All of that is up right now, and it will be very unique for you and your soul life, which again, a birth chart reading will help bring that tighter focus with the lens. So that is available for you. And more than likely, this is going to be a video in 2 parts, because I am at the pool with Eric right now, and more than likely he's not going to be, I'm probably going to outlast him with this video, so I'll probably be finishing it from home. So just heads up. All right, so tuning into this end of April. I'm filming on, God, what day is it? April 25th. And this past week and a half in particular, it's been this real potent kind of energy of creation, this real liminal space, almost being in the dream time, as everything is dissolving. These structures and beliefs that we had firmly in our minds, or were taught to us, or were conditioned to us, or stories that our souls have been telling us for lifetimes, can be crumbling. Again, that dissolving. So there's this, in some ways it's very indescribable because that energy is going to be unique for each of us. But in general, it's been this real shedding kind of few weeks. Week and a half, where we've been experiencing this releasing of density, these heavy, old, outdated patterns. And this can look in different ways. You might have been feeling extra emotional, or you or your children have been on this hair trigger where any little thing, and it's like this explosion that happens. I've certainly noticed that with the children that I've been around, just very highly sensitive children, very in tune with the collective, and like watching them kind of just almost like they can't help but go at each other because this energy is it's demanding to be released. And the only way that they were defaulting to or knew how to do was that sibling back and forth, bicker. Or me helping Kate to get ready, it was this, it was like, okay, we're going to leave the house at this time, so I need you to be ready before then. And it was like, you didn't tell me that. And I was like, I didn't tell you what? Like, what do you need to know? But again, it was like one little fine grain of sand that wasn't perfect. And then the whole pile of cards, the tower of cards, just crumbles. And then not being able to sit and hold that emotion. You could also have been experiencing a purging of some kind. This can be many different kinds of purging, actual sickness, fevers, that kind of thing. It can also be bowels. You can be running to the bathroom quite a lot and things are just not processing the way they need to be. You also can be experiencing headaches or head pressure, especially around the third eye, and it can come in just sharp waves. All of a sudden, you're just like, whoa, what's going on? You might have been experiencing extreme exhaustion, incredibly tired, where it doesn't seem to matter how much sleep you get, you still need more sleep. Or again, extra soaking up of other people's energies. If you are an empath, a highly sensitive person, suddenly being around a lot of people and you are in overwhelm. This is actually something that me and a friend experienced at an amusement park, Knott's Berry Farm, on Tuesday. And we go quite a bit, but all of a sudden this Tuesday, it was like getting hit by a freight train. It was just so extra potent, and I really had to just go sit down in the sunshine when I got home and just ground, which is very unusual for me to feel at that degree, because I'm pretty good at managing my energy. But for some reason, on Tuesday of this week, that was not the case. So what have you been experiencing? Let me know in the comments below if this shedding has been coming through for you in a very physical or emotional way. So why are we experiencing this shedding? What is going on? Where is this coming from? And this is actually coming from a couple different areas. Very loud FedEx truck that goes by. It's definitely coming from the astrology, and I'll speak to that in a moment. But it's also coming from the sun and the solar weather that we've been having this past week. So we've been having a very large coronal hole that is facing Earth. Okay, clearing that energy. And this coronal hole keeps getting bigger. Every time it rotates around the sun and comes back Earth facing, it's even bigger. So this is the 8th rotation, and it's bigger than the last time. And last month, that end of March, Aries equinox period, we ended up getting a series of seismic swarms. These high magnitude earthquakes. I don't know if you can hear them, but I just had two male mallards go into the pool. So you might hear them in the background. And this is what happens. And Stephen Burns has been doing a lot of research and videos on this. So please go check him out if you want to actually understand more of this aspect of it. I just want to bring in this particular thread as well as the astrology and the energies, and tying them all together rather than going deep into the science, because that's really not my wheelhouse. But these coronal holes, what they do is they emit high speed solar winds all into interplanetary space. And when they're facing Earth direct, we are the ones that are receiving that energy, which is this opening directly into the sun's corona. So we're receiving all this energy from the sun in incredibly high speeds. And it's charging up the ionosphere. It's charging up the electromagnetic grid, Earth's global grid system, which includes us. It includes our Earth. So Earth is receiving all this energy. We and our bodies and our DNA are receiving this as well. And there's this process that's happening where as we're getting these new light codes, these upgrades to our DNA, it's actually causing a resurfacing of parts and stories and density that we've kept buried in our bodies, in our DNA, in our systems. And there's a need to release that. So we have the sun, the sun's energy is helping to be part of this alchemical transformation process, which I find very beautiful, and at the same time it can be very tricky to navigate, especially if you are someone who is sensitive to the solar energies and to space weather. Eight days ago, we were in a G4 geomagnetic storm, which caused the power grid of Puerto Rico to fail. So we've had lots of geomagnetic storms, which again, we are feeling. And we are, once again, just like the end of last month, we're having increased seismic activity of higher magnitude earthquakes. And there's more being reported each day. But just an example, what kicked us off this cycle of the sun was the magnitude 6.2 in Istanbul. Okay, and as I said, the astrology speaking so clearly to this. And I'm going to start bringing us down into what that means. So at a higher level, We are in a very chaotic time. I'm sure you don't have to look very far in order to see that reflection. That is what this moment in time is. But why? Why is it so chaotic? Why are we experiencing so much chaos in this world? Higher level picture, and it goes even bigger, but we'll start here, right? We are completing 2,000 years approximate of being in the Pisces age. And this correlated with the time of Jesus Christ. And what did we just celebrate worldwide? Easter. And the Catholic Pope, Pope Francis, left his body around this time, Easter Monday. You know, we're not entirely sure of the exact date, but there you go. And this energy, this Pisces theme is represented, here comes Eric, is represented with the energy of Jesus. This Neptune, very, and I'm not saying this for those of you who still have religious trauma, I'm not saying this to trigger you. I'm speaking to just one aspect and dynamic of this. Oh yeah, see, he's done. He's done. All right, so I'm gonna pause this video and I will re-pick up it when I'm at home. As promised, I'm back inside now. I thought I would get a little bit longer with Eric at the pool, but I guess not. So I'll just work with each moment and what we've got, right? That's certainly what we need to do as parents, and that's actually the energy of this moment. Working with what you got and following that flow instead of resisting to it. So, real life example of pausing and then coming back in. So where I left off is speaking about this story of the Pisces age and the distortion that ended up happening. Here we have this figure, this person coming in and embodying unconditional love. This true inspiration of being of service to others, to the collective. This spiritual essence that Jesus Christ as a figure, and the teachings that he held, that he taught. And yet, that's not what ended up truly happening. And you can see this on the world stage right now. Just the example of our US president currently saying he's the most Christian president of all presidents. And then what is the actual action being taken? Is this about being inclusive and caring for the poor, the meek, right? These teachings that Christ embodied, that spiritual essence that is Neptune, that is Pisces, and yet that's not what we've seen throughout these 2,000 years of that patriarchy, that over-dominance, that control of the authority, of the religious institutions, the church, our governments, all of it, right? So that's what we're really seeing right now. And that's this, again, there's this chaotic world because there's a misalignment. There has been a distortion of these truths of the heart. this heart that says we are connected to each other. When I breathe, that is actually your breath. So there's this necessary surfacing of these old stories, of this old distortion that we must see. If we are to rebuild and bring into this new future, this rebirth, the old must die. That old distortion, that old illusion must be dissolved. What I'm speaking to here is that journey of Saturn and Neptune, first in Pisces and moving into Aries, that 0 degree of Aries. The Aries point is that moment of rebirth. It is also the world stage. And so these two planets that I've been speaking about, they're going back and forth. Saturn's closing in on Neptune. He's going to get incredibly close, but not quite connect. Not yet to begin that new cycle that sows this new seed. Because we're needing to finish off, tie off these loose ends of Pisces, of the patriarchy. And this heart connection, this unconditional love, that true meaning. There is a need to return back to that. And we need to see it. We need to reconnect to that. But yet, what is it in our lives? In the stories that we hold, the beliefs, these conditions that were taught to us by parents, by society, what is that that is holding us back and keeping us small, keeping us from truly shining? How has this essence, this teaching of Jesus Christ, been distorted by the church, by Christianity, by these religious institutions? Saturn. And how far that distortion goes into our governments, into the New Age, right? So into ourselves. And that's where we need to follow these threads. This is why things are in so much chaos right now. Because if we want this new amazing future to happen, to connect in a meaningful, heart, soul-inspired way, what are the things that are holding each of us back? That are within our own shadows, in our own unconscious. We need to see that first. Now, this need to look at the world. As I've been speaking of, there are people who are choosing to not look at anything. And this, I will say, almost gaslighting, almost bypassing the pain and the trauma of the world. We can't do that. Now, that doesn't mean to say you might actually not be in a place where you can hold that. That is okay. You also don't want to go too far into seeing everything, because then that's going to bring a what? Overwhelm, flooding. There is this need of balance of both. There is a need to look, especially if we're in a place where we can see. And then there's a need of like, okay, yeah, I can't watch and see what's going on in the world right now, because you know what? My focus needs to be right here on the thing that my heart is calling me to create and to do. So it's a both. And it's this coming into balance and what that means for you. This is also Jupiter in Gemini. There is a need to look at polarity. And wow, the world is quite divisive right now, isn't it? This inability to hear each other, to listen, to see the other side and hold that space of compassion, to hear them, even if you don't agree. So there's a lot of that's happening right now. And that is this invitation, is to be able to come into that space of middle and to hold that, to see that. What else do I want to say about that? There's a need to hold that and to see that. There's also you needing to find the right people who you are actually safe with. If you and your inner child does not feel safe with someone who cannot see you and hold you, then don't be with that person. Sever yourself from that person. That has been the story and the theme of our Aries solar eclipse. That's still ongoing. So you want to keep honoring what feels right and safe to you. And again, there's that need as well to honor your heart. You can't be so distracted by everything that's happening out here that you don't fulfill and do the thing that you have come to do. Getting stuck in a place of fear isn't going to help anyone change this particular moment in time. That's not helpful. So it's this this alchemical transmutation that we're doing. And when we catch ourselves in a place of fear, it's like, wow, okay, what is this? What do I need to see in this? What is this triggering in me and my shadows? Am I suddenly in a space where I'm not seeing the person I'm in disagreement with as human? Hold compassion and grace for yourself. This is a very turbulent, complex time, and we are shedding massive amounts right now and really resetting these old stories and conditioning. This end of April, I know that this year, end of last year too, has been a gut punch to our energy. And we are now in that space, that time where that energy is finally coming back online. And that is going to be slingshotting us into the future. For some of you, you might not have actually done the releasing of that slingshot. You might be feeling that tension, that it's coming, that release, that forward momentum. It may not be fully there yet, or it can even be little bits. Okay, there's a momentum, but then not quite all the way, and then a little bit more. So it's all going to be different depending on what you are needing to experience at this time. And the energy that I'm speaking about here is really having to do with Mars and this Mars retrograde cycle that we've been in for 8 months, as Mars has journeyed through Cancer and is now finally back into Leo. And I'm going to come back to that, but we are really going to start seeing forward future momentum. Most likely not at the world stage level. And again, that's going back into this cycle of Neptune and Saturn, back and forth into Aries, over Pisces again, back again. So that world stage slingshot is coming, but we're first going to see it as individuals. And in our individual life, and that creative spark that's setting you on fire. That's where we're going to start seeing that forward future momentum. especially for those who have done that inner work, where you have been into that initiation of Mars and Cancer square to Chiron and Aries, this deep wounds of where we have not felt safe by family, by those closest to us, our parents, where we've had gut punch after gut punch, the energy just getting knocked out from under us. We're not allowed to be that pioneering self. All of this energy has to do with Mars, Cancer, Chiron, and Aries, and that tension that they were holding. So very catharsis, deep inner emotional healing. And if you said yes to that initiation, then you're really going to start to feel that slingshot coming through. It may not yet be manifesting in your physical world, but there still is more than likely an inner shift. You feel it within you. You feel that strength. You feel that going into the wound has then made you stronger. You are now shining brighter. Those dark moments of your soul has now brought you into this new space, into this new strength, into this new version of you. That is what Mars has really been bringing us into, because Mars needs us to. We need to start connecting to those of similar wavelength, those we can actually be ourselves with, who will beat their drums as we beat ours to our own tunes. And there's this celebration of doing it together, this reconnecting back into soul tribe, and what we are then going to be creating from that space of true community. That's the energy that's starting to come in. That is what is on the horizon. That is this Pluto in Aquarius bringing us as well into 2027, when the North Node leaves Pisces and goes into Aquarius. Like, this is what we are coming into, but we're still at this space of the dreaming, that liminal space between the dream and weaving that dream and that spark of creation. That's the Aries point, the Alpha and the Omega, that death and rebirth. That is what we're holding right now. It's a very powerful, creative time if we choose to work with what we have in front of us and what our soul and our hearts are calling us into. This is very much this Mars into Leo energy, this reconnection back to your heart, to your joy, and just letting it radiate, letting it shine forward. I said I was going to talk about Mars in a minute, but I guess we're talking about Mars right now, huh? Let me just see what else I wanted to add with that. So we have Mars opposite to Pluto, and it will be exact tomorrow on April 26th. So this is going to be our third hit of this Mars-Pluto opposition, where Mars is fresh into Leo, not quite done with its shadow phase. That's going to be early May, when he finally leaves that whole retrograde cycle and a new one is beginning. So this is what I mean of what we're feeling the energy coming. It's coming in. It's not quite there yet. You know, or if it is, it's like forward and backwards. On the other end, and I'll talk more about this in a moment, is we have Saturn will also be leaving Pisces and entering into Aries end of May. And that is going to be on May 24th. So that's, again, we're going to start to feel even more forward momentum, initiation coming through. But first, to speak about this Mars-Pluto opposition. The 3D level, things can get very fiery, overly assertive, overly aggressive, warlike even. I just feel like I got pressure building in my chest. Burp that's not ready to clear. So just honoring that. This is a very fiery moment in time. Really try to hold center no matter what you see happening, and just trusting in this moment. Things are dissolving. Don't hold on to anything right now. It's that need to see the suffering of the world and then not take it too seriously. And what I mean by that is things are going to keep changing. This is Saturn, Neptune, Pisces, Aries, back and forth. Things are going to dissolving. They're just nation and nation, our culture, what we believe in our government, our institutions, like they are changing. So just try to relax and let go, surrender into that, even as I know it's incredibly uncomfortable. That's what this North Node is pushing us into. It is into what is not comfortable and not familiar to us. So Mars-Pluto opposition, so we can expect there to be sparks, and then just holding space for whatever that is, and then see how that shows up for you as well. This can very much having to do with control, power struggles. But Mars and Pluto, think of it like a full moon. There's a light that's being shown. Our instincts, our drive, our hearts, okay, Leo, heart, has so much to do with bringing a reflection to what our soul is speaking to us. Pluto. What is in our unconscious is being communicated through our instincts, our drive, our initiation, Mars. So work with that energy, follow your creativity, go have a wonderful time painting, let your inner child out and just celebrate. You know, like take center stage with what it is that you love to do, and just be aware that this is a powerful time to see through that what is actually going on deep within us that we can't see, or where are the fears that we are going to stick out like a sore thumb. Pluto and Aquarius, where we're going to be different from the group, and will we be ostracized for that? Will we be condemned for bringing in these new ideas? So those are some more themes that can come up with this opposition. So I'm just going to slide back into speaking about Venus, Saturn, the North Node. These are all conjunct right now in Pisces. And the reflection that has been coming through for me and with people that I know that I'd like to offer to you is a shedding of old stories, old beliefs, conditions, shame, guilt. Those are all Saturn constructs, Saturn energies, specifically around money and worth and value. Venus. You might be experiencing a lot of pain, a lot of fear about your worth, your prices, what you're offering, what you're doing for work to earn money. And this, oh, well, I'm charging too much. You know, like that kind of energy. Those are the old stories. If you're finding that coming up for you, take the time to look at them. I know it's not comfortable, but this is necessary. These stories are coming up so we can truly shed them, and so we can realign back to our true worth and value that is being defined from the inside out. Venus. This is also the energy of Taurus, which I'll speak to in a moment. But instead of our worth and value being defined by society, it is instead being defined by us and being embodied by us and the people that we are in connection with, relationship with. That is the new future that we are, this is the sole tip of evolution that we're pushing into right now. And then we have Ceres, the dwarf planet Ceres in that mix as well, helping to be the spiritual midwife of this new transformation as these old stories of worth and value dissolve. Pisces, what our parents said, what culture said, dissolves away. For me, my primary job is still a mother. And yet that job, that work, and I mean that with a capital W, that sole work of being a parent is not valued in my current society in the US. Oh, sure, they do lip service, but do I actually receive support? Do I even get, financial assistance so I can stay home and raise my near sparkly children in the way that they need? Like, no. I don't, and I certainly didn't get the kindness and compassion when people would see me out there with my children and I was having a really hard time. Or my children were having a really hard time at that moment. No, I didn't receive that. I just got judgment and the looks of like, can't you keep your child under control? They're upset and they are disturbing me. How dare you? And I held that worth. I thought that was my value. And then I've been on that journey of redefining it and letting go of those bullshit stories. So what is that for you? Where is this Venus, Saturn North Node in Pisces? Where is that taking you into? What new visions, new dreams are being birthed at this time? Bringing in as well, as I've mentioned so much about these stories, these fictional stories. Right now, all those planets that I just named for you, they are all in a square to Varda. Varda is at 29 degrees of Sagittarius, and she is there shining out her light. There it was. She is asking us to release the fictional stories that we have been telling ourselves or that others have been telling us that are not true. And she is saying, be that hope, be that inspiration, be the light right now in these dark times. This is you. This is what is capable. This is what your heart is capable of. This deep, meaningful connection to the all that is, to the divine. This returning back to true spiritual essence and not the distorted bullshit from the Pisces age. All right, so that's the overall big theme. I'm just going to speak for a moment here about the Taurus new moon that we have coming up on April 27th. This is setting the tone for the next moon cycle. Everything I just said before is still in effect, but we're now having this just getting hit. New moon cycle, this is the energy that we are working with. So we have the sun and the moon conjunct at 7 degrees, 46 minutes in Taurus. This is in a T-square. So very powerful energies, and some of them I've been talking about. So this opposition to Black Moon Lilith and Haumea in Scorpio. Again, which has to do with the divine feminine, the power of the divine feminine and how she might have been distorted or repressed. And there's this opportunity for a new rebirth, this regeneration, but there might be, Haumea, a volcanic expression first. So again, here's more of that shedding story coming through. And this is in Scorpio, so it's going to take us down deep, guys. That's what Scorpio Pluto is. It is the unconscious. It is in those places in ourselves that we do not want to see. There is a need to see this full moon illumination, right? That's what the opposition is, to illuminate these shadows so we can come into true alignment with our values, with our body. Taurus's body is sexuality. It's the 5 senses. It's sensual. It's enjoyment of life. And I don't know about you, but that's been part of the things that I was taught to not enjoy. The body, the feminine, the earth has been distorted in that appreciation of her, of us. So see what surfaces for you. We also have a square as well to Mars in Leo, Pluto in Aquarius, which I've been speaking about. So these are all getting activated together. Powerful, powerful T-square. Pluto's also going to be stationing retrograde on May 4th. So that is going to magnify Pluto's energy here. So once again, we're speaking about very explosive potential reactions. Very powerful. Taurus, of course, is ruled by Venus. And I just got through telling you all about Venus conjunct Saturn, conjunct the North Node, the series there. So everything I was sharing about this new rebirth is leaning into this, again, that shedding of the old stories to come back to true embodiment is going to be at play at this new moon. This story about worth and value and letting go of the old stories of Saturn, of the patriarchy, of our parents, and having it being defined by within ourselves. This sun moon is in conjunct with Maki in Libra. So it's kind of like an itchy sweater. We're trying to find the right balance. We can't quite get it right. We go too far this way and oh, that's too much. Then we go the other way, not quite. So we're sorting this out. We are updating this new identity of ourselves and being in relationship with other people. We are updating our system and how we see the world. That's what the energy of Maki is. This is also Sun Moon or in a trine to Ixion in Capricorn. And Ixion is all about asking, at the higher expression, are the rules of society, Capricorn, the right ones? That's the energy that you want to lean into. Probably not what we're going to be seeing playing out on the world stage, but that's what we can hold within ourselves and work with that. More than likely, we will see some big changes around money, or a lot of instability when it comes to money. That is all the energy of Taurus. Taurus is gold, it's resources, it's land, it's money. And wow, we are seeing a lot of instability with money. That's going to keep going. That will be continuing. But again, Venus, Saturn, North Node, we're coming into a new cycle, but we're not there yet. So we're breaking in this new path, a new way. So just do your best to move through that of this moment, especially if you have the rug getting ripped out from under you. And I know there's so much instability and there is so much fear. Just know that, yes, this is happening. It's not going to be forever. And I do absolutely trust and feel that there's something new and amazing that will be coming out on the other side of this, but over the next several years. It's not a quick fix because we're in demolition zone time. Like, we're breaking the things that are not working. We, meaning the higher collective of humanity, that's what we're going into. All right. So just to say as well, we'll have the full moon on May 12th in Scorpio, being ruled by Pluto, who just stationed retrograde. So that full moon is also going to really be big and powerful and bright, bringing us deep into the unconscious. Now, as I said, I know that things are very tumultuous and very difficult and a lot of fear. This pressure building around freedom, around equality, around true justice. It's this loaded spring. We will start to see the new creativity coming in, these revolutionary ideas, forward thinking, sparks, thoughts, springboarding us into the future. But again, it's not going to start at the world stage. It's going to start with each one of us. Grassroots. That's how it's going to begin. So it's leading us into this deeply more spiritual, more magical, this more unconditional love, true inspiration. We're bringing this into that. We're being brought back to our hearts. And from that space, the things that we love will be giving back to a wider world. But it starts with us as individuals. That's where the spark for the future is and will start. And it's already started. So if you're one of those people, let us know in the comments and cheer, so we can cheer you on. What is the work that only you can do? That work that is your soul calling. Whatever it is, follow that. And that is what you need to hold on to when things out there look really bad and really bleak. And as that pressure continues to build from society, you've got your spark. You are that light, and you can and will hold that to then help others light their lights. That is the power that you have and that you are remembering during this powerful time of change. This time of death and rebirth. Please be that light that you already are and that you have always been. You are needed now more than ever. So I'm going to leave that there. I covered a little bit further into May. I will be going on quite a big family trip, so I'm going to be gone most of May, pretty much, barely home at all. So more than likely, this is the only video that you will be seeing from me, although, you know, who knows? I will be visiting Texas, New Mexico, and Colorado as well. So me and the children, Sean will be coming in eventually. We will also be doing a lot of earth keeping, land work while we're there. So I'm sure I will have big stories and insights to share. And as well, I'm feeling new calls, new initiations, even this time to rebuild my website into this new form. So I'm kind of in that alchemical transformation as well. I can feel the slingshot coming, and yet at the same time, it's not coming through yet. And I definitely feel that May, a lot of this is really going to start to land. And then we'll see where it goes from there and where it takes me, where it takes you. But please know that I am cheering you on in your journey. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, please give that a thumbs up, leave a comment, share this with your friends. It really does help with the energy exchange. I appreciate you all so much. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.